propaganda posters. They were used to inspire, educate, and influence. They were used in World War I, World War II, and in the mid-20th century. Now, these posters are in the public domain, and they're a great free and legal resource if you're working in military genres and travel genres. Yes, there are about 900 WPA travel posters as well that are beautiful, legal, and completely free. So I want you to enjoy this video. Let's go. The first resource for public domain posters is the Library of Congress. Now, there's some really high quality scans in this website, but the problem I have with the Library of Congress is it is a government website, and it can be really, really tough to navigate to try to find the actual collections. So I'm going to put the link down in, so here's like the link to the World War II poster collection. I'm going to put this link down in the description in the video, but I'm also going to show you how to find this as well. So if you're just like, if you're watching this on TV and you're just Googling it, I'll show you how to find this. So this is the World War II poster collection, Library of Congress, and it gives you an overview of it. And then down near the bottom, there's a digital ID. And when I click on that digital ID, it's going to take me to this other page where you can see there's a nice little thumbnail view here of all of the different posters. I'm just going to click on one here at random as I scroll on through. So I'll pick this one, United Nations Fight for Freedom. And this gives me a pretty high quality scan of the original poster. I can zoom in on the right hand side. There's a little zoom button, and I can zoom in to get a pretty high quality scan. I can also move it around, and then I can also zoom back out, and I can even make it full screen if I want as well. So it's pretty nice. And then to download, you can just download over on the right hand side. So there's a download option as well. Okay, so the big question then is, how do we find these war poster collections? So when you go onto the Library of Congress main website, what I would recommend you do, now again, you can search, there's many different ways to get there, so this is kind of an easy way. So you can search on the Library of Congress website for, say, World War II propaganda posters. And then what you want to do is scroll on down to find an actual World War II propaganda poster. So you're just scrolling through, because they've got lots of different works. So here's one. This one says Stamp Out the Axis, and it's a World War II poster. So I'm going to click on that. And then when I scroll on down to the bottom, you'll see there's subjects down on the bottom right. And I want to click on this war posters. That's the actual link to all of the war posters that are on the Library of Congress. So this is sort of the master list. You would bookmark this if you're on your computer. So I'm just going to pick something here at random. Now, this here says available online or all items. So there's 5 items here that are outside of the scope of what's available online. So I'm just going to look for online, and then I'm going to look for United States posters. And I'll pick like this one here. So this is a photo print drawing. And I can download the item, and it's a relatively large download. I can also just click on the item, and I can see it in a bit more detail. So this is the original scan of an original, like it's a scan of an original poster. You can see here there's like an actual little color control palette, and it's a photograph. So it's pretty nice. You can get some vintagey looking artwork from a relatively high quality scan. And again, to download it, you can just click on the download icon here, and then you can pick different options. I usually go for the largest size JPEG file because that usually has the highest print quality. Okay, so if you don't want to look at the US ones anymore, what you can do is just click another, you can just click another country. So there's all sorts of things like contributors, there's, you know, different tags. And so if I'm done with the American one, I can just go back to the main page where I've got my 2000 war posters or so, and then I can click on another one. So maybe I'll click on Great Britain, for example. And then Great Britain just gives me different high quality scans. So here's the 4.5% war loan subscription poster. And then again, I'll just go to the right hand side and expand it. And then I can see a relatively high quality scan of this poster. On the Library of Congress page, there's also a World War I poster collection. So there's World War I and World War II. And when you're on these sort of pages, it can be a bit difficult to navigate through. There's featured content, and then there's an About This collection, but you might be wondering, where's the actual collection of posters? And it's right here at the top. It's kind of buried, so it says About This collection, and then right to the right of it, there's collection items. So when you click on collection items, that's where you get the actual links to the actual pictures. You can also change the view. So here it says view list. You can change it to a gallery view. And when I click go, it gives me a little bit more. I'm just going to scroll in a tiny bit here. It gives you a little bit more of a view here of the different posters. So again, it's easy to select a poster once you see it, but it's sometimes getting there that can be the hard part. So you might be saying, well, that's great, but I'm not really interested in war posters. Do you have anything else? And it's like, absolutely. There's this thing here called the WPA. So again, this is on the Library of Congress, but it's a completely different genre of poster. So the WPA is a big collection that was with the US government, and it's the Works Project Administration. And so what this is like government posters, but they're not related to like war. So again, you can have About This collection, collection items. I'm just going to click on collection items, and then I'm going to change this view list to gallery. And then we can see there's a bunch of stuff, everything from movies, government, funded movies, all the way through to homeland stuff like, make sure to go to the zoo and read and that sort of thing, sort of like public works posters. So there are over 900 posters in this collection, and there's varying degrees of quality. What I like about these is that a lot of them, I'm just going to click on this one here. So I'm probably never going to use the actual movie poster, but what I would care about would be possibly using the graphic. So it's a, it's a screen print, silkscreeny graphic. And what you could easily do with this poster, for example, is remove the text off to the top, keep this picture, remove the text out of the hedge, remove this at the bottom, and make your own poster based on something else. So if you're interested in just the travel posters, the WPA travel posters, there's a bunch of vintage travel posters on a website called publicdomainvectors.org. And, this is not the prettiest website in the world, but it's nice and clean, which I like. And there's some pretty high quality scans. So I'm just going to pick this one here, this Fifth Avenue by New York one. And here's the poster. And then you can just click the download button. And what will happen when you click the download button is it just gives you an actual SVG file, which is a scalable vector graphic, which means you can scroll in really like a lot. And it doesn't actually ever really make it pixelated. So there's like a big, it's a watercolor and it's a vector scan, but you can use this sort of vintagey looking stuff to repurpose for your own vintage posters. If you want to just recreate a vintage poster, you can do it yourself because it's easy to do. You just remove the text down at the bottom and then you can just use the design for whatever you like. Now, if you want to find this website, you can, again, I'll put the link down in the description in the video, but if you want to search for it, what you would do is when you're Googling it, you have to Google a very specific phrase. So I'm on Google and I'm going to search for public domain vector vintage travel poster. And the reason you have to Google it very specifically is you'll notice you get two different results and they're virtually the same website. One says $39.78 free vintage travel clip art, and the other one says $47.62 vintage travel poster clip art. And it's like, what? It's the same website. So just click on the one with more. That'll get you to the $47.62. And then that brings you to this page where there's a bunch of really high quality old scans of these posters. And again, these are all public domain. this website prides itself on saying that everything's public domain. Now, this isn't my first choice. I'd prefer to go to the museum because it has the actual license, but this is a pretty nice alternative. And again, you get some pretty nice scans out of this. So there's the SVG file for the Paris poster. And then here's a nice Chicago poster as well. You know, everyone has personal preferences, and so this is just the same posters that you could find in the Library of Congress for the most part, but it's just a different website. So this is a Flickr album. I happen to really like Flickr. I think it's really easy to navigate. You get some high quality photos in here. So this is the Boston Public Library. And the Boston Public Library here has a Flickr album. And as we scroll on down, now this only has 81 photos in it, but they're pretty high quality. The Civil Air Patrol is pretty good. There's a lot of like actual like soldiers fighting. So I'm just going to open up this one. So this is a buy bonds every payday poster. And it's pretty high quality scan. When I click on it, it'll zoom in quite a bit. I can take a look at it. And then as I scroll on down, now this over here says some rights reserved, but when you click on it, it's going to say it's Creative Commons 2.0. So you are free to use it and you are free to remix it. So again, as always, I throw out the disclaimer, you want to check the rights on these, but these are public domain posters in general. So you just scroll on down here and you can see here, it says rights status not evaluated. I wouldn't like freak out about that because it does say it's in the public domain. There's a tag on here. I'm not saying that's the be all end all, but this is the Boston Public Library's site, and they are saying it's a government printing office. So I would be shocked if anyone were to ever come after you and say that this is a trademarked issue. This is a public domain photograph or illustration. So this is a nice, easy to navigate website. Flickr is really good, and you get some high quality war images here. There's another website that I really like, and it's called Pickrel, and it's the world's largest public domain source. And so in this website, you can just scroll down and look at different collections, but you can also just type into the top. So I'm just going to type in propaganda, and you'll see propaganda posters. There's a whole bunch that come up, but propaganda posters is just the main one I'm going to search on. And then it gives me tags as well. So you can see there's the National Archives, World War II, ultra high resolution. And then you can scroll on down and you can see there's a whole bunch of different propaganda posters as well. So I'm going to click on this one here. We can see here, you can download it. You can click on it. It's pretty high resolution. Click on the little plus button. You can see it gets quite detailed. Gives you the source, which is nice, U.S. National Archives, no known copyright restrictions. And then it gives you a nice little, I really like this at the bottom, it gives you explore options, so you can just kind of just browse through as well. So I really like this website. It's really easy to use. You just click on, you just go to Pickrel and you can just type in anything here. So I'll type in like World War II, for example, propaganda, and it just automatically knows what I want, which is really nice. So again, it gives you a nice graphical interface here at the bottom, and I find the quality of these to be very high. So buy war bonds, for example, I'll click on that. You can click on the actual poster, and then you can just click on the plus button, and that gives you a nice high quality scan. And then you can use this for any purpose you want. And if you're nervous about the rights, you just scroll down to the bottom and you can see it says public domain, and there's the link as well. So this is more of an aggregate site. Pickrel I find is really easy to use, and it's really high quality.